Autism does have a lot of coexisting conditions such as ADHD, epilepsy, gastrointestinal issues. Those issues have to be treated separately. What happens in diagnostic overshadowing is that I will give you guys a real life example. Caden had swollen adenoids and his tonsils were very inflamed. She told me that Caden needed to have his tonsils and adenoids removed. I took him to a doctor, and the doctor clearly seen that Caden needed to have this done. He did not want to operate on Caden because Caden is autistic. That's why in my trailer I said, what would you do for a child that doesn't have autism? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Macy. Hey guys, hey, what's up? How are you guys doing? Hope you all are doing well. So as you guys can tell down in the title of the video, today I want to talk a little bit more about my upcoming new ebook that's dropping this summer of 2026. So if you're interested in all I have to say, then just keep on watching. Okay guys, so I want to preface this video by saying that I would highly recommend you guys go back and watch the autism talk that I did. It was 7 years ago and it was titled, Why Do We Blame Autism Because of Autism? Now, that video is going to put this ebook into so much context for you guys. It's going to give you an idea of where I was 7 years ago. I also want to say that at the time that I did that video, I didn't have my bachelor's degree. I hadn't done any work towards my master's degree. I didn't have my business. I didn't have anything, okay? I did, though, have a very strong opinion about how when I would take my son, Caden, to the doctor, they would always say, oh, it's because of his autism. Now, at the time, I used to do autism talk videos where I talked about a lot of things about autism. And one of the talks that I did, and I'll leave it linked right here up above, but I titled it, Why Do We Blame Autism Because of Autism? Now, at that time, I didn't know what I was describing, or at least the clinical definition for that. And the clinical definition is diagnostic overshadowing. Now, again, 7 years ago when I did that video, I didn't know that that's what that was called because I hadn't had any education. I didn't know that. And probably my second year in undergraduate school was when I learned about diagnostic overshadowing. And I'll never forget, I went back to that autism talk that I did and I was like, oh my God, like I can't believe that there is a clinical definition for what I'm describing. And I just felt like this is real, like this is true. This isn't something that I'm just thinking in my mind. Because like I said, I would take Caden to the doctor and every little thing, it was always because of his autism. Now, if you guys don't know, autism does have a lot of coexisting conditions such as ADHD, epilepsy, gastrointestinal issues. Those issues have to be treated separately. And so that is going to lead me into the purpose of this ebook. I really do feel like my ebook that I'm going to be writing on this will save lives, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you guys step by step on how to avoid diagnostic overshadowing, even for yourself, but especially in the autism community. Now, what happens in diagnostic overshadowing is that I will give you guys a real life example of why I feel like diagnostic overshadowing is very dangerous for autistic children as well as adults. So I would say about 5 years ago, I took Caden to the doctor, and the doctor checked his mouth and throat and all of that. And she told me that Caden had swollen adenoids and his tonsils were very inflamed. She told me that Caden needed to have his tonsils and adenoids removed. I took him to a doctor, and the doctor clearly seen that Caden needed to have this done. And instead of scheduling it, getting things together, he did not want to operate on Caden because Caden is autistic. Like, let that sink in. And that's why in my trailer, so if you guys watched the previous video, that's why in my trailer I said, what would you do for a child that doesn't have autism? So if a child comes in that doesn't have autism, right? And the doctor sees that they need to have their tonsils and adenoids taken out, they are going to remove them. So this is why I say that this is a very serious subject in addition to trauma or dental trauma in the autism community. Okay, because what happens is that health professionals do know that autism has a lot of coexisting conditions. It could be ADHD, gastrointestinal issues, trouble with sleep, pica, which is where they eat stuff that they're not supposed to be eating. So if you take your child in because they're having constipation problems, trouble with sleep, ADHD, the doctor is not supposed to tell you it's because of their autism. Gastrointestinal conditions can be treated. Sleep conditions can be treated. Pica can be treated. So what happens in diagnostic overshadowing is that they don't treat those coexisting conditions with autism. They'll just say it's because of the autism and then send you out the door. Now, according to research, and I'll try to find this study somewhere, autistic people have a shorter lifespan than non-autistic people. Okay, so what that tells me as an independent researcher is, in addition to other things, right? There could be many other things. The reason why the lifespan for autistic people is shorter than someone who isn't. But I can say, if we just use our common sense here, like we don't even need research to substantiate what we're saying. If you go a long time and you don't have conditions within your body treated, then that can have impacts on your overall health. So what's happening to autistic people, according to research, these conditions that they have in addition to their autism is not being treated. I mean, even if you look at my situation, if we go back to Caden needing his tonsils and adenoids taken out because he was snoring all the time and he wasn't getting good rest, and then the doctors say, oh, well, I can't do it, it's because of his autism. That would have long-lasting impacts on Caden's health and his overall well-being. And that alone can shorten his lifespan. And this is why I said in my trailer, what would you do for a child that was coming in and they were not autistic? What would you do for that child? You wouldn't say, well, I can't because they're not autistic. I have seen videos where parents have taken their children in to be seen, and the doctors will see clearly that the child's tonsils and adenoids need to be taken out. The child isn't autistic, and they go ahead and take them out. So this is the type of healthcare discrimination that autistic people face all day, every day. And this is according to my research. So this is why this ebook is very important for me to write, because what I would like to do is I would like to take you through the process of why diagnostic overshadowing occurs. Then I want to teach you exactly the questions that you need to be asking the doctor, and then the follow-up questions that you need to be asking them. That way you don't have to deal with diagnostic overshadowing with your loved one. Okay, so this is probably, like, all of the ebooks that I've written are very intentional. All of them, every last one of them are not just ebooks that I've written just because of the fun of it or to make money, or like these ebooks that I'm putting out, they are so important, and they're also reasonable. I try to keep my prices reasonable for you guys. That way you can afford to get this information. There's a lot of things that I share through my calls that I don't share on here. So like I said, get this ebook. It's going to teach you everything you need to know, things to look out for, things that you have to go into the doctor and be aware of so this doesn't happen to you. No child or anyone that is autistic should have to deal with diagnostic overshadowing. And I'll try to leave a link in the description about an article, but the only issue with the articles, you guys, is that I can't publish these articles. They're protected because I'm in the program. So I can't distribute these studies that are shown or studies that I see, that I put out. All of my information when it comes to these things is evidence-based, except when I share stories about my personal experiences with my own son. Because honestly, that's where all of this came from anyway. Okay, so you guys stay tuned for this ebook. So that's going to be the end of the video. If you guys have other questions, please let me know. Drop them down in the comments. Let me know, have you heard of diagnostic overshadowing? Is it something that you have known about? Is this something new that you've just learned about? Also, you guys, make sure y'all check out my Instagram at the Autism Storyteller, because for 30 days, I did 30 posts that was written by me that gave a ton of information about autism. Okay, so that's kind of where I was. And also check out my business. Go to www.stan.store/the autism storyteller if you want a coaching call with me, if you want to purchase the ebooks over there. Like I said, they're priced very, very reasonable. And so I just hope that I can help you guys. I'm here to help y'all, okay? Share some of the information that I've learned. But that's going to be the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.